Today on Dance Imparts, we have Nozomi Kishimoto. She is a dance artist. She recently graduated. She is a global citizen. She calls herself a global citizen, a choreographer, a dance theater maker. She is very talented and originally from Japan, and we are so excited to have. Hi, Nozomi! How are
Hi,
you?
Carol, how are you?
I'm good. It's so gray in the UK and it's raining so much here. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. It's 5
Right.
p.m. in Japan, right?
Yes, it's 5 p.m. here. It's really boring here. I couldn't go outside of the house today
Oh,
because it was boring. It
oh,
was dangerous for everyone to go out today because you get dehydrated. Yes, I got some tea here, oolong tea, and iced
ooh,
coffee as well, so I can
wow. You have
refresh
options. You have
myself. Yes,
options. Hot and cold. That's good. You're prepared. You're prepared for this interview today.
thank you.
Um,
Yeah. How are you, Carol?
I'm good. I'm good. It's just so gray in the UK today.
Mm.
So I'm just putting my I've just put my warm light in front of me to show that it's sunny in my room. Like I'm faking the sun. So that's why you see like me glammed up because of the ring
Oh,
light.
you're always stunning. You are
Oh, thank you.
stunning
You look
today.
stunning. I love the jewelry. I love the bling.
Very much. I got those in the UK, and yeah, absorbed like gold colors.
Oh, that you look amazing. I love your top. It's so like
Think
cool.
looks like an Asian bit, Asian clothes, like a
It
bit
is.
like a sneaker. Do you say like how do you even explain like a
It
sneaker?
like
Asian,
I have
Asian.
Asian, yeah, I can understand that because I've seen some kind of clothes like that in India as well, like in like local shops in India as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's also kind of like Bollywoody in a way. I
Oh,
don't know if I
I
should
like that.
generalize that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're
Okay.
ready to
If you're ready
like.
to, are you ready to? Okay, we are ready. So I just wanted to ask you, like, how did you started your dance training, your dance journey?
So it's really funny because this year is the 24th anniversary of my dancer life. Like it's
Wow.
been 24 years since I started dancing, but obviously I started dancing when I was 3 years old.
Mm.
It was classic ballet. I started dancing in this school that my mom took me to. I just fell in love with the way that all the dancers danced and really, wanted to become a ballet dancer in Japan, in Tokyo. So I trained in this company in the productions where junior ballet dancers need to train to become professionals. So up to I was 17, 18, I trained in this production and then I was performing this Swan Lake and Don Quixote and Satanera and the Frame of Paris, all those things, with other dancers. I was competing in these competitions as well, like international competitions. Yeah, so it was the starting point of my like dance life. It's been 24 years, but I started dancing ballet. Yeah, yeah, I think that's
Wow.
yeah.
So, like you said that it's going to be a 24th year dance anniversary. So, what
Mm.
age did you start dancing?
So I'm 27 this year. So I was 3 when I started dancing ballet.
Wow, that's so
Yeah,
cute. I can see little Nozomi like dancing
yeah,
with
yeah,
you too.
yeah. But like, unfortunately, I got injured when I was 17 years old.
Oh
So
no.
it is really hard for, I would say like Asian bodies to embody classical ballet training. My turnout was not perfect, so my teacher pushed me really hard to open up my hips and rotations of my hips. So at some point, I need to be honest, like I didn't really know why I was dancing for or who I was dancing for or like, yeah, just there was no fun or enjoyment or happiness that I was feeling, because it was such a competitive world to be in.
Mm.
Um, definitely it was competitive, and 400,000 people here in Japan study ballet. Only few can make it to the top, as you know. So everyone wants to be the one to perform the role in Swan Lake, and then it's that's the life that we face and we have, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
Wow. So in such an early age of life, you have gone through so much discipline and competition and growth and taking feedback, I'm guessing, because being a dancer is about taking feedback all the time, correcting everything, correcting your posture, correcting your feet.
Yeah.
So, so how did the school life work then?
So like, I was really focused on this ballet life, really want to become a ballet dancer, want to really want to work in this like Tokyo company. And so I was homeschooled. You say like I was doing homeschooling at home. So I left primary school when I was 11 or 12.
Okay.
After that, I started to do homeschooling. So I didn't go to junior high school here, so I completely left those friends' life, friends like learning together kind of life behind, and I was really focused on like just a training ballet. At home, I was like studying with a computer, so
Oh,
it was like an unbalanced life. When you're a teenager, you want to have friends, but you have to have this dream, or you have to really keep
pursue.
going because it's such a competitive world. But yeah, I think like I said, when I got injured, it was such a draining time for me because obviously my life was devoted to do the training in Tokyo or professional life in Tokyo. So like, yeah, definitely it was hard. Yeah.
Mm. So, like, how was injury? Like, so you said that it was very hard. So, I know that now you call yourself more as a contemporary dancer. Like, so how does that transition? Was it because of the injury?
So your question is like, why have I become
Yeah.
contemporary? So it's gonna be a bit of a long story, but I got the injury when I was 17,
Mm.
and then I still wanted to go to Tokyo. I wanted to do the thing in Japan. So I did some rehabilitation program here in Japan in the hospital for like 2 years or 2 years and a half, and never cured. They never cured my injury. So what I did was, instead of really holding on to this dream, I just said, look, I'm gonna quit ballet. I'm gonna be something else. It's hard because people are aware of you doing a lot of ballet training, and people expecting you to go to Tokyo, do things in Tokyo, become successful in Tokyo. So like I just wanted to like be me, become a human, not the person that people expect you to be. Like,
Mm.
people had this expectation of like, oh, Nozomi is going to be the top, but that was not possible. So I needed to really leave Japan. So I wanted to leave Japan to start over my life in somewhere else. Parents were really supportive about the idea of me leaving. Obviously, you won't find any parents or a lot of parents here who support you to go to a different country to start over your life. You don't really find those parents, especially in this East Asia. Parents are supportive, but at the same time protective over you. So I think my parents are really like definitely exceptional, I would say.
For sure.
Understanding and trusting me.
Mm. Yeah, I can
So
definitely
yeah.
understand that because, like, even with me being an South Asian dancer, like,
Mm,
to convince my parents to come here was a huge task, and I'm glad
yeah.
that they supported me as well, and it was interesting. Yeah,
Mm,
like, how did you think, like, um, how did you came across contemporary and you were like, yeah, I want to try contemporary? How was the contemporary situation in Japan then? Contemporary dance.
So, okay, so like 20 years ago when I was doing ballet or was training, should I say 20 years ago or 10, 15 years ago? I don't know. But like at that time, obviously, at this right moment as well, studies states that 400,000 people study ballet still.
Mm.
And this is like the highest number of people studying ballet in the world. So at that time, 20 years ago, people were, definitely not aware of the creative bits like contemporary dance, for example, or obviously improvisation never happened here. Well, I shouldn't say never happened because might have happened, but not so many people were a bit aware of that.
Yeah.
Improvisation, creative dance theater, definitely here in Japan, Buto or Kabuki, no theater, those, traditional Japanese drama theaters, those are the bits that, people see as traditional dance. But creative bits, creative dance, contemporary, I as a dancer was not aware of the existence of contemporary dance or improvisation. So basically when I got the injury, I said to you, I wanted to start over my life in the foreign country. But because I'd always wanted to get into Royal Ballet in London as a child, I thought, okay, I'm gonna go to London, or I'm gonna go to the UK to learn English because, in the future, maybe English may help me to become something else, like, a translator or, not a dancer, And then I convinced my parents, they were really concerned about me going there. They had never been there. I had never been there to the UK. So I took this one suitcase with me and to the UK, and I never spoke English there, and I wasn't able to say anything in English. So I traveled all the way to the UK when I was 18 and had no one there. But gradually, started to make friends in international schools that I went. So, I was learning English, and then all those things, like starting over my life, but you never knew anyone, like you don't know anyone there. So
Yeah, it's a very bold move at 18. I can understand. I did the same as well, but like again, I can definitely understand being on your own, having no friends, have never been visited that country before, like being all on your alone and just going for that dream and trying to learn a new language as well. Like, is English spoken a lot in Japan? No.
I wouldn't say that people speak English here often. Maybe some few people speak English, but that's why like people who can speak English here in Japan appreciate it, because that's real. That's a really a great skill to have. But no, my parents don't speak English. All my family don't speak English. So like going there and studying language, experiencing all those, new environments, new people, and meeting those people from all over the world. This is a great experience. This definitely was a great experience. At the same time, you have no one that you could talk to in the beginning of your journey. So it is definitely a brave move for me to do that, for people to do that. But there is always a risk. You may get into troubles. I got in troubles all the time. Like, for example, like I had this host family that I was staying with for 6 months in Bournemouth. This father that I used to live with, like a Scottish father, he, you know, he had this thing that he was harassing me and then like telling me all those things, like because he was alcoholic. So
Oh no.
you may not meet right people all the time.
Yeah.
So there's a risk that you need to take
Yeah.
to do what you want. And you know, being on your own, it's
I'm sorry to hear that.
no, I mean, this really, because I met this, I was in this situation of like host family harassing me, and you know, I had the really bad experience with them. That's why I went to Bath, where I was asked to start teaching ballet, so I was able to like come back to my dance life again in the
Yeah.
UK.
Mm.
So I was obviously studying language in Bournemouth, but because of those like bits that I experienced in the UK, like harassment and all those things with the racism, I went to Bath in Southwest. And then this is where I was asked by the dance academy to start teaching ballet, because there was this ballet teacher from Royal Ballet who was in the hospital. So there was, you know, this replacement teacher that they needed. So that was the time that I went back to ballet, and it was teaching. So it was interesting experience to have somebody gave me back my life as a dancer in Bath, because I had this experience with the host family, being harassed, being discriminated against. I went to Bath, and then, you know, it happened. So
Yeah. How did you get contacted to? Sorry, my leg is cramping. Ow. I was gonna say, how did you got in contact with the Bath University? How did they contact you? How did they get to know about you, that you were a ballet teacher, like you can teach ballet and you were in Bournemouth?
Bath University, the academy, the private school, they so I was staying with this host family in Bath again. So I was like water all the time in the UK, like living with different people from all over the world, and sharing houses for 6 months, 3 months, or, you know, like moving all the time. Like, you know, so I had this host family. They were okay, you know, they were good, with, you know, compared with the family that I lived with in Bournemouth. They said, oh, you used to do ballet professionally, so there's this dance school in Bath which you should go to talk to, because you will be appreciated. But I took action of going to this school, like walking the hill, and then I went there. My English was not really good, and then, you know, people looked at me, oh my God, who are you? You know, and then I went there to say, hey, can I dance in this school, because I need some training, or maybe like I want to have some fun dancing. I used to do ballet a lot in Japan. I never said I was training professionally there. But they said, like, there's this teacher who is in the hospital right now, so she needed to do replacement work. So I was like, yes, I could do like private teaching or anything, like, you know. So I started to teach English kids who are between 3 and 18 years old. Some of them, you know, were wanting to go to Royal Ballet or Elm Hearts Ballet School in Birmingham. So, you know, I was in this international school learning English at the same time teaching in this dance academy in Bath, which was like a private school.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. I love that universe brought you back to dancing, like through your hosts in a way. That's so cool. Yeah. How is learning new language like?
So like, I'm just remembering the day that I was learning English, because now I'm working as a translator as well here in Japan, like English, Japanese translator. So like the day that I started to learn language, it really makes me feel like cringy, you know, oh my God, this is a table, this is a cup, you know, this is telephone, but you say cell phone in the USA, or you know, all those like things. Oh, it was hard because you've got to learn, and then you've got to teach ballet, and then also like like for example, I don't know if you can understand what I'm talking about, but you know, if the teacher tell you, there's a difference between you look at me, and you watch me, because some sentences are like have different meaning. For example, teachers at school tell you, I'm watching you when you are naughty, or when you are being like sarcastic in the school or in the classroom, watching like thing like, you know, on social media, or I'm watching you. That's what teachers say. But I'm looking at you like, it's like, I'm looking at you, Carol. You know, a bit romantic. Like, there's a different meaning. Definitely there's a difference between those two. So learning those like new vocabularies or like a language definitely exhausted me a lot. Yeah.
Like I can't imagine like being 18, learning new language, having that cultural shock. And you speak Japanese, right? Or is that, so Japanese and English, there's no relation whatsoever. So you have to learn from the
Grammatically, you know, grammar is opposite basically, because I come here, you know, for example, in English, the subject, your person comes here. But sometimes in Japanese, obviously the person comes towards the end of the sentence. So
wow. Yeah. I feel you're so intelligent, like to work that brain through while in the new environment and then grasping those knowledge, and look at you now, you're translating. Wow, like that's been such a growth. Like, wow.
Thank you.
It's very inspiring.
I think it's just because I was brought back into this dance life again by this, you know, by those people in the dance academy where I used to work with. It's like they gave me a life back as a dancer. So I could have gone back to Japan after 1 year studying English, but I decided to come back to Japan, get another visa, and then go back to the UK. And then I did an A-level like thing, like it's called University Foundation Program, UFP program. So this is where students from all over the world, for example, students from foreign students study. For example, I studied psychology and media study, and marketing, business, all those subjects in English to pass those exams and the course. Because before that, I applied for English National Ballet. Because I was like, oh my God, now I can teach. Maybe I can go back to, you know, professional environment. Maybe I was like overconfident, or maybe over thinking about that. Then I did an audition in Royal Albert Hall in London, and that I was invited to by the company. And then this is where I completely felt the reality that, okay, I'm 21 or 20 with a big injury, and I just, you know, pirouetted, like, you know, I did pirouette, fell on the stage. That's where I completely got the idea of, okay, you are not going to be a ballet dancer again. You can teach ballet, but this is where I felt in my bone, in my blood, that, okay, you need to know the reality, Nozomi. You've got to do something else in the UK. So maybe you can dance something else. So that's why I did this University Foundation program, which enables me to study in the university. So I did this program, like studying media, marketing, psychology, and all those things, to be able to study in the university in where I, do you say how this, to be able to study dance in the university, I should say. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like,
No, don't worry. Like, yeah, like I'm just so inspired. So, is that Plymouth University only, or was it like Bath University?
Uh, while I was studying in this like university foundation program, I
Mhm.
applied for like 5 universities, and then I received 5 offers from like 5 universities.
Well,
So that's like, oh my god, I can choose. Then I chose Plymouth. Um, yeah. But I should tell you such a funny story now because yeah. So while I was studying with this university foundation program,
mm,
when I entered in the program, obviously, like, I was the only Japanese person who would be studying in this program. And
mm,
then most of the people are like English or like people from all over the world, let's say. And I was only Japanese again in the school. And then the director of the school told me that basically you're an artist, right, Nozomi? And I'm like, yes.
mm.
I want to study dance in the university in the UK, so I get the qualification in, the university qualification in the UK. They said, you're an artist, right? And then, yes, I am an artist, yes. And then you're Japanese, right? And then, yes. You're never going to get any offers from universities. You're never going to finish the course that we'll be doing here. So you've got to call your parents and then say that you're never going to pass the course. And then I said, why? And then she said, I just told you the reasons. Do you see what I mean? This is
Ah,
definitely was a discrimination towards me, who was a foreigner, who was a yeah. And then when I received all the offers from the universities, and she said, that I knew it. So
wow, what a flip.
I wish I could tell you, Carol, like all those like fairy tale stories, but I've got all the realistic, situations or stories that I should be telling you here.
Yeah.
Sorry, like it
No,
sounds
no,
sad.
no, no. I'm glad, and I'm sure like so many other audiences would relate, and I'm sure like you're breaking that illusion of like perfect dance artist life. Like it's not
No,
perfect. It's not, you are not always on the stage with pretty makeup and like everything aligned. You fall on the stage, you have so many other personal things going on, you have so many emotional things going on. It's so I feel like as a other dance artist, it's so um, inspiring and warm to hear from you like that this is real and this is what everyone goes through. It's not some media and everyone shows that everything is perfect and like, but it's not, and that's the reality and that's the beauty in it, that
yeah.
you are not served with everything, you work for it.
Mm.
um, so that's
Just
so
I don't say much about what I struggled, or it just I personally want to mm, it it's hard for me to say all those like not the fairy tale stories, like realistic painful stories though. But I think this will definitely help the world itself to understand that there was a lot of ignorant people,
Mhm.
um, treating others with no respect, or they don't even know that they're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like not having any family here in the UK as well, and then going through that. Like, did you share this to your parents that you were facing these things?
Yeah, I said to them, like, the director of the course said, oh, I don't really think you're gonna pass the course, so you've got to tell the parents tonight on Skype.
Mhm.
You have Skype.
Mhm.
And then I was like, I knew that my parents wouldn't be like, you have to quit the school, we can't pay the money, or you can't pay the money, Nozomi, you shouldn't be wasting your money on the, like, they were like, this is really a harassment, Nozomi, go for it, prove them wrong. So my mom was
Oh, love
like, okay.
that. Love that support. Damn.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, at the end, like, they were like, they didn't apologize to me though, like they said, can I write about your story? on my blog. So I was like, is there anything you want to say to me before? But yeah, I was like sassy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, like
yeah, it's a lot to take
it's
it
a
in
lot.
and swallow.
Yeah, an 18-year-old when you're trying to figure yourself out and life out, and when life throws things at you, it's quite interesting. So, how was your like then you got into Plymouth University and studied dance theater
Yes, with you.
with me? No, you saw me like yeah, you saw me in the university and we worked together as well. That's how I met you and I was so inspired. I remember meeting you. I remember seeing you for the first time. It was in Adam Benjamin's improvisation. And you
Yo,
had such an amazing aura to you. So we were
oh,
so to the people, Adam Benjamin, who is the founder of Konduko.
yeah.
He used to do inclusive improvisation classes, and it used to be amazing. My favorite classes all the time. And at one, yeah, and at like in one class, we could always, go improvise with senior dancers. So Nozomi was 1 year senior to me, and
Mm,
I saw we were improvising, and I was like, "Oh my God, an 18-year-old alone, everything, figuring my life out as well." And I saw Nozomi improvising at the corner of the room with her like hands and like it was just like I didn't see anyone else. I was just like it was like a spotlight on her and like she was radiating and she was like so authentic with her movements and I was like, damn, I would love to dance with her. And I think after a few improvisation classes we got somehow like improvised together and I think we did something with hands, yeah, on the floor and everywhere. It was so beautiful. I enjoyed it so much.
I
So
never knew. I never knew that you were so fond of me like this. Like I'm really appreciative of all your comments that you made. Like maybe when I was dancing there, like not in the university itself, but like at the moment when you were looking at me dancing like beautifully,
mm,
definitely I never saw myself like that. Like I had always those, like um yeah, like I was always worried about what people thought of me,
mm.
or I was worried about my growth as a dancer, like how much am I growing,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, I
beginning.
think we have talked about it as well in the university life when we were there, like in the same space that being a dancer, you are so critical of yourself and yes, you are like always open for feedback, but you're always so strict with yourself and you're like, I have to be a certain way, I have to correct my certain technique and which is always amazing, but it can always be harsh. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think like at that moment you might be going through so many personal situations, but at that moment when you were dancing, you were so authentic. It just
Oh,
grabbed my attention, and I was like, "That's so beautiful," and I would love to dance with her and love that space with her. And like I was so happy that we improvised together later, and you were so genuine, so human. When I talk, like because like for me, you were like, wow, like this woman is like so impressive, so beautiful, and everything. So, there is that hierarchical thing when a junior artist looks, I don't know, or maybe it's just me. I used to look at senior artists like, oh, I can't touch them. They're like, wow, they're professionals, and they're like, you know what I mean. So, but
yeah.
when I talked to you and we were giving feedbacks to each other at that time, you were so human and you were so loving and so gentle and kind. And I didn't expect that at all because my background was like, oh, artists
Mm,
who are like senior than you have to give them certain respect and there's certain space between you. But you fill that gap so nicely and it's just changed my perspective and I wanted to be as human as possible as well. So that was beautiful and thank you for that so much.
yeah, thank you so much for your comments. Yeah, definitely you are too. You are so human and authentic, different and unique, and definitely you are outstanding as well. And then, when you are 23 and into the university and studying with all those people who are just finished high school or who are like 18 or 19, you know, you want to become friends with them, but at the same time, they or some people feel like intimidated to talk to you just because you're a bit older than you, you know, like 3 years older than you or 4 years older than you. I think, you know, definitely there was this hierarchy or like pressure that people felt. You know, I never intended to like, you know, have this atmosphere or anything like that, like funny atmosphere, but yeah, it was definitely age thing going on as well, definitely, yeah.
Maybe. But for me, I didn't know you were 23. I didn't know that. I just knew that I think it was just me and with my issues, I guess, because you were just 1 year senior than me. Like I saw you like that. I didn't see you as like 23-year-old, but I could see that a lot of awareness in your body. I could see that you have invested a lot of, like you have had so many experience, a dance professional experience. So that's why I respected you more. And I think maybe coming from that Indian background in which there's like, you know, the senior dancer dynamic and the guru and shishya. Guru is like teacher and student dynamic. So I think my mentality was set up like that, that, you know, I was like, oh, I can't touch this person, like this is gold. But you were as human as I could imagine. And that was a good breakthrough for me as well.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like being able to study with you was like an amazing experience as well. Amazing experience as well. Like we talked about that Benjamin, and he's definitely an amazing tutor that we all admire, right? And then,
Yeah.
you know, taking his sessions, you know, he told me, you know, it's not all about you showing off your technique or us taking over all those spots to be a main dancer or main actress, you know, like he said, you know, it's about being, you know, you or us being able to be connected to the presence or people's presence, you know, it's all about that, you know, it's definitely changed my perspectives as a dancer and as an artist and as a human.
Yeah, for sure. For
Connected
sure.
artist, you know, life.
You haven't like I used to see Nozomi always like networking and being busy with so many projects. So I was always wondering, and right now I think it would be helpful for people who are in the university life. How did you find those networks, and how were you involved with so many projects? Like, how did you do that?
Just really funny because people ask me those questions and I don't have a like proper answer to this question. But
Mm.
only I can say that like for me, like I gave up so much gave up on a lot of things to do this university course, gave up on a lot of things to come to the university, come to the UK itself. When you have so many things to give up in your life, you just commit to what you believe that you should be getting, you know?
Yeah.
So I think you can understand that as well. Like
Yeah.
also like networking is all about, look, I am an East Asian woman, a Japanese woman living in the UK, that people think that I don't have home in the UK, or you know, those disadvantaged information happening in the air. But as long as you're honest with your authentic idea about yourself, as
Mm.
long as honest with yourself that you want to do this, you know, people can you know support you. I think people want to get to know you. You know, it's not about you doing this for fame or money or like you know no.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
it's us being able to be honest, and because people don't know about you, you know, people don't even think that you have a home in the UK or you're a foreigner, so you've got to, I think there's this trust that you can get as long as you're honest or authentic with yourself and with people. I think that's so important, like treating people in the way that you want to be treated.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, you touched so many points there, which is so inspiring as well. And like, it's about being open and being
mm,
open-minded with yourself as well and with everyone around you as well. And then um, I lost my point. um,
Right.
it's all right. It will come back to me. But yeah, like I think it's like you said, you have been like water, like flowing everywhere, but with a purpose. Like even if it was like different houses, but I feel like in your dance journey as well, because like even though like you had that realization of you wanted to be a uh, Japanese ballet professional dancer, and then getting injured, and then realizing that okay, it's not there's not only ballet dance, but there's contemporary dance as well, and I'm ready for that experience. I'm open for that experience, and I'm ready to be flexible with that. So then you went and got into contemporary and being in a dance theater course as well. So it was not just dance, it was theater as well. So we had like different modules for theater. So dipping your toes in every I think that's your I feel like I get that in a message from you too, like being open and being ready for anything in your life, and not just being comfortable in like one style, like just being open to everything.
Yeah, but I needed to be ready to have this big responsibility in my life that I would do contemporary, because obviously a lot of ballet dancers try to go into this contemporary creative life, but some people, or only few people, or I don't know, not so many people can like really get and embody the creative bits, because we are trained in this like field where
Yeah.
really like like first position, second position, arabesque, like
Yeah.
so this being able to be flexible, like I think it's a skill, and I think it's a commitment, definitely, and I think it's a challenge, definitely, body wise, and also mental wise as well. Like I remember crying a lot at home, like
Mm.
not getting any ideas about like what is contemporary dance, what does this, what does this work, how does this work, yeah, like investing that money into this new dream as well, to work as a contemporary dancer in somewhere in the world. Like it's a huge commitment that you got to make, and
Yeah.
you see what I mean by that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm,
Like contemporary dance, I felt like didn't
mm,
have any particular rules. So not
mm,
having rules is also like interesting because, well, coming from you, like from your background, which is ballet,
mm,
which has fixed everything, then to
mm,
fixed nothing, to like just
mm.
taking improvisation, and it was just like you can even walk and that's dancing. So that was confusing for me as well, and I was like, wow, what? I didn't know that. Um, so it's a huge transition in your professional life as well. Like you got cultural shock, you also got a dance shock, which was like, what is this contemporary? Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand that.
definitely university like course. I learned a lot from it, from the course of yeah, I think being a human is also being an artist, and being an artist is also being a human. That's
Mm.
what I learned from the university, and also working with other theater companies or dance companies in the UK, like in Bristol and Bournemouth, London, Primus obviously, and Exeter, and all those independent companies like that. Like when we don't have uni, like on Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah.
I was working with I was really inspired by the working with Beyond Face CIC company based in Plymouth. Definitely working with them and working with Alex Harris, an artistic director of the company, really changed my perspectives as a human, as an artist too. But like, I didn't need to be perfect. I didn't need to feel the pressure. They really wanted me to be authentic, really be vulnerable, and it's okay to be vulnerable. Like, yeah, working with those three mentors in the company, Jules and Alex and Helen. They came to my graduation ceremony in September. You remember?
I
The
remember.
graduation ceremony? Oh
Yeah,
no.
I know. They were so sweet. I'm so glad. Like, being so lonely for so long. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
saying lonely as in struggling alone for so long, and then having those beautiful mentors in your life, and them being like your parent, like in the graduation. It was so beautiful to see them, and they were like, oh, because Nozomi's parents can't make, what is that? Is that their picture?
Yeah, so yeah, here.
Oh, is that picture?
Every
Yeah.
day. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so I was so glad, and like they're amazing. Like, I've worked with them as well. Like, I finally got
Mhm.
to work with them for a small film project, and they were amazing, and they were so, like, we, like you talked about getting harassed by those people, but then also getting in touch with these lovely people as well. So there's like both ends, both spectrum which you go through. And like, yeah, like they when I was working with them, they also gave me, like, they were so nice and gave
Mm.
me space to be vulnerable, and which is always amazing. Like, when you can be your own true self, there
Yeah.
you find a good connection. So I'm yeah, like, they're really
Yeah.
lovely people, and I'm glad that they were there to support you as well. um
Because I'm really now excited to do like an international project with them in the future, or like invite them here,
yeah.
because next month in September I will be applying for my own funding here in Japan,
Wow.
which is really exciting. So like this is gonna be the first time for me to apply for the funding, and just writing lots like documents for that. So
Amazing.
like for them to do all those things, independent women, like independent individual artists, like in the UK, I learned a lot from them to
Yeah.
become someone who is responsible for your actions and what you say as well. Like you've got to do what you say,
Yeah, it's so inspiring to, yeah, it's
Mm.
so inspiring to see strong, independent women artists, like,
Yeah.
feel driven. You feel like, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too. And that's what I'm aiming with this Dance Imparts as well, to
Mm.
get in touch with every gender, whatever, like every human basically, so that everyone has someone to look up to and be like, if they can do it, I can do it, and I can learn from their experience. And I'm glad that you're sharing your stuff here.
Mm.
It's so gold.
Yeah, I think it's like obviously there's so much to commit to, or there's so many struggles that you will feel when you're a professional dancer, or when you're professionally doing something
Mm.
so seriously, when you have the vision, when you have things to tell to the audience, not just the audience, but to the world, to the communities,
Mm.
to the politics, political world, and lots to think about, when you have this vision. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not an easy life. It's I feel like my life itself, like, I wouldn't say a lonely life, but it's can be a lonely life,
mm.
like being an artist, also being an individual, like
Mm.
authentic self, like everyone is, but like trying to be authentic as possible as an artist, as a human, um, trying to be like water. So I don't need, I don't want to settle into one place or work with people in the one
Mm.
place, like being able to be like water, working with people from all over the world,
Yeah,
learning a lot from those people, like not like specific people in specific place. Like I want to work with all those people, yeah, in the world, yeah.
yeah, I feel like you always touch with like being open and not constricting yourself to a place or to a style. It's about being open and stepping back and looking into, like, the world is huge. You can go wherever, like, opportunities are everywhere. You can make opportunities, you can apply for opportunities, you can, like, it's opportunities are everywhere. If you look, you'll find it. I think that's what
Yeah.
your message is. Um, so how has it been being back to Japan and with your lovely family, and how it has been?
Yeah, so like I came here in Japan. I returned to Japan 10 months ago. So it's been 10 months since I returned to Japan. So it's just been 10 months, you know, like only 10 months. So,
Yeah.
you know, I lived in the UK for 8 years and I left there when I was 18. So coming back here as an adult, responsible adult, 27, 6, everything is different here. Like people here in the neighborhood, I don't really know them, and some words that are being spoken in Japanese, like I don't really understand those words because those are new to the new
Wow.
generation. So I even didn't know how to buy a train ticket because the train ticket, like machines, like systems, all of the system changed, or you know, I'm adapting a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like I'm adapting a lot of things, but like, you know, like I'm always working and I've been doing a lot of projects with like lot of projects nationally and also internationally as well. So coming back here, it's really lovely to see my parents who I didn't see for like 8 years, and then really being able to talk to them as well, like my mom. Like I'm a woman now, so being able to talk to her like woman to woman, not like 18 years ago who needs some advice from other adults, you know. I think she does respect me a lot now. Definitely she has been though. She has been respecting me a lot, but like more having those experiences and the thoughts of voice that I had.
Oh, I love that connection you have with your mom that you can share with her everything, and I'm happy that even like you get that chance to as well, and now you're spending more time with her, and like I love that in your life there have been so many female role models, and I think that has been really impactful for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like in the UK, obviously, like Jules, Alex, Helen, all those people like Charlotte Edock as well, and Mariam from, you know, How Freedom.
Yeah.
Are the people that you know, are there in the industry, and really, I'm grateful that they support me and they still are in touch with me. They really, you know, think of me that like like that. So highly, yeah, definitely. You know, coming back here, obviously it's hard though, like to adapt things or to be used to the new environment. This is my new environment as well, like coming back here. But I applied for, when I came back here, I applied for become an actress in a film company. I think I told you before, but I got into this company. I went all the rounds of the auditions. They, you know, said they would give me the contract. I was like, yeah. Then they said, oh, can you be on the TV presenting those shows? I was like, yeah. But they said that they would shape me dramatically to become someone who I was not. So like someone who reads the script all the time, or like, you know, wears something that Japanese men fancy, you know, those things I don't really agree with. So I said, sorry, but this is probably not my, you know, contract.
Yeah.
Contracts. Then people said, oh my God, how did you ever, you know, leave the contract and then come back home? And then I was like, no, this is definitely not for me. Nobody's gonna dictate me to say what they want to say. Like I'm gonna say what I want to say on the TV. Maybe this is not how it works in the TV world. Like,
No, like wow, that is also like so like bold thing to do, to be like to say no to a contract, a TV, a film contract, and be like, oh, I don't want to do that because that's not who I am, and I don't want someone else to make me look like who I'm not. And being authentic is so important for you. I love that, and I live for authenticity. Even I am like, I just strive to be authentic, to even to myself and to the whole other world. Like, but
yeah, really being authentic. Yeah, that's our goal, isn't it? And since I basically cancel this contract. Obviously, I've been working as a freelance dancer and freelance practitioner, a freelance improvisation teacher. So I started this program, education program in this school in Japan, where I teach improvisation, which is so new to the community here in Japan, and so new to like not all the community, but in my community, really new, and so just so different, so new to the community. And also I'm teaching those things, the improvisation, to kids, so they can learn improvisation, they can enjoy how to dance, they can really know how to dance, like, and it's like, also I'm teaching improvisation in a foreign language, which is English. So they don't understand what I say in English, but at the same time, I want them to ask me questions or like embody those languages as well that they learn. Because here in Japan, I don't know in India as well, but people are so passive. Like there's no, I shouldn't say there's no, but like there are not so many people, who is vocal, who are vocal, and who are like, hey, I want to do this, like I'm so vocal, like after in foreign country for like 8 years, I have to be vocal to be able to say what I wanted to do, or this is not for me, or so like I'm teaching improvisation to the kids in foreign language. This is like a newest program in my community, so I'm really enjoying this like thing. Also, I'm working with like people from all over the world on the projects, international projects. So it's like working internationally, but working locally as well. So lots, like,
opening your horizons. It's so nice, and like you're bringing the change, the revolution in Japan, it seems, because like when you were 18, you have the support of your parents, but you didn't have any mentor who can teach you English there, or like to teach you contemporary there, like show you different other options. But you are such an important person in those children, those kids' life, that you're teaching them, you're giving them English, and then you're showing them improvisation, even if it is new. But I'm sure they will appreciate it so much even now, and even when they're older, and they'll be like, oh wow, like we got to experience that. So like you brought all your knowledge from so many experience that you have had in the UK and brought it in Japan, and it's such a you have opened another doors for them, like that's so cool.
That's my like aim, and something that I really want to do, to become someone that can change someone's life, but not trying to be perfect or trying to force anything, like just be me, say what I feel the right to say in that moment. If that's something that they can be inspired, that's the right word to be heard by them. Like when I was a child, obviously I didn't have any options to do creative art, so I didn't, I never knew about contemporary dance or improvisation. So like to be the one to bring this thing into my community, and then it's a it requires a lot of energies, and sometimes I just want to sleep for 2 days, and then because you are bringing something new into one new community and new environment where people don't know about you, and then people ask you questions and you have to be ready to answer. You have to be ready, know the things. It's not about you knowing the things or having the knowledge. It's about you being able to explain properly so that they can understand. It's not you explaining. You have to make them understand. You have to make them realize things. Not about one way. It's about you being able to be the one to,
I understand this is so beautiful. I have no words to say, because it's so amazing and magnificent that what you're doing. I have no words, because sorry, my leg, not because of my leg, but I have no words because it is such a responsibility, right? Like it's like, you are kind of the postmodern dancer in Japan in 2020, UK ages ago. So
Yeah.
you're just bringing that thing that happened ages ago in the UK to Japan now, which is 2020. So it's of course it's going to be a long journey, but I'm so happy that you started that journey, and I'm sure so many other teachers will be inspired and like help you out with this as well in the community. Like there's so much gold in this to be the change maker
I
to
know. Yeah.
yeah, you have to be like so grounded and yet so confident about yourself and
Yeah. Like I
facing
love. Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Sorry.
I was going to ask you about like how is the Japanese culture, how Japanese dance culture in Japan?
So I just want to say that I will be debuting as a Buto dancer in September.
Wow.
A show in Kyoto, like 2 shows, but first one is like, anyway, but 2 shows. So I'm doing like training in Buto as well. So Buto is a traditional Japanese dance form founded by 2 key founders. One is Kazuo Ono and Hijikata Tatsumi, and those 2 key founders after the World War II. So this dance form was created to basically, after the World War II, this Western culture and American culture were brought into Japan. A lot of influence were, brought into Japan, and the people were really, starting to know about the American culture or Western culture, all those like new things. But those key founders really tried to make our Japanese citizen or Japanese people to own the Japaneseness. That's what one of the reasons that Budo was created. And I am so grateful after all the years I'm here back in Japan, debuting as a Budo dancer. It's another challenge that I need to do. I basically put a lot of like creams like white things, and then not dance like that, like, gracefully. There's the opposite of grace, It's very grotesque and strange, if you say so. But I feel like there's a beauty in the strangeness, definitely in the
Love that.
yeah, like, so Buto is often, Buto's theme is often like is relationship between human and nature, and also life and death. So which I'm totally inspired by because because this, how do you say, it's like the moment that we live is like moment that we get to live, but we have, like, it's such a precious moment because it's really dark to say, but it's a realistic thing to say, but we are aging every day, right? So it's not about us being a fairy tale and dancing like amazing, like, hey, it's not just that. There's another form that represents us as a human. Obviously, that contemporary dance definitely represents us as a human too. But from, my master Kankatsura, he works everywhere in the world. So like he's amazing. Like he's 70 and he's still saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this every day, This is like the form that I really want to learn, and I want to bring the Budo essence into my work in this contemporary dance. Because we have all those backgrounds that we, inherited. Do you say that inherited? Culture, the Japanese culture that I have, or DNA from my parents, or the cities that I got to grow up, or people that I got to hang out with. All those things are in our body. We are embodying those things. So we don't need to do one specific thing to, that's my opinion, that to represent us as a dancer. Like, I think one of the reasons that I want to be like water and work with all those people from all over the world is because, you know, I want to know what dance means to them, each of them in all those countries. Like, I gave a 2 hours lecture to Colombian University in Florencia the other day on Zoom. I got the phone call from the professor saying, can you give a lecture about contemporary dance and how you live? And, you know, I gave the lecture to them. And then there was this translator, Spanish translator working for me on the day. It was an amazing experience for me because I lived with Colombian students when I was in the UK, but I never went to Colombia, or I never talked about dance or talked about why do you do this, you know, what art means to you guys, you know. It was so interesting to really understand, like, oh my god, dance or art means so, even dance means different to Japanese people, dance means different to English people, English industry, like dance industry or performance industry. Yeah, dance means different to the Colombian people as well, people in Colombia. Really interesting to know about all those cultures or background. And yeah, definitely, I loved the experience of like being connected to Colombia. And
I feel like that's what's keeping you like that's what um, motivates you to keep learning, to keep experiencing those things. That's what keeps you going. I think that's your rootedness as a, even though you are all graceful and flying and dancing like a amazing person that you are so grounded in learning and keep learning and growing. I think that's what your authenticity is, to keep learning and to keep growing and uh, keep seeing and being open. And I feel like that's what um, I'm learning from you today, and hopefully everyone else who is watching this can see that, like, the number of events, the experience you have had is so much and so intense that you still are like, you are like, I want to learn more, I want to see more, I want to grow more. Like, it's so beautiful. So
like
you did you did touch on you wanted to see what is dance for other people. I would ask you the same question. What is dance for you?
oh my god, I didn't think that was coming to me. I'm just looking for some answer or something in this air, like atmosphere. I shouldn't say I don't know because I'm a professional. I shouldn't say I don't know because I know in myself. Like, I know.
But I'm glad you said that you don't know, because that is also something authentic that, you know. Yeah, go on. It's
I
like,
don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know. It means
oh, I think it's like being a doctor, you keep learning new things, but you will, but you, I think I heard somewhere in which if you are a doctor and you say that I know everything, that's just wrong, because the medic field is evolving like the dance field every time, and you are learning new experiences. So dance meaning might change all the time for you. But what
I
is it
think
for you now? Yeah.
I think dance is, yeah, I have the answer now. I think dance is something that I live with forever. I will live with forever. Something that I can devote my life to. So I gave up a lot. I gave up I gave up on a lot of things to be a dancer. Like everyone is, all the dancers, I wouldn't say it's just me, but I gave up on doing so many things. For example, having just a teenager life. Do you say that, teenager life?
Yeah.
Like out with like girls, or like making boyfriends, or like all those things. Like I never experienced that when I was a teenager. Like, so I think dance is something that I can devote my life to, because that means the world to me. something I feel connected to the most. I can lose myself when I am dancing or when I'm in the process of learning, like, because that's something that will ground me as a person. There's no end to, for me, like, there's no end to this life as a dancer. So many people say that, oh, you can dance this piece, or you can get into this company, you're a successful dancer, you are just, you don't need to do anything after that. I don't think so. There's no end to the story
Beautiful.
of
That is beautiful.
being a dancer. It's about you learning as a person, as a dancer, and there's no end to that story. Like, you've got to learn. That's what I want to do. Like, wanna learn, I wanna go to different countries. People say I'm strange or so passionate, like, oh my god, intense roller coaster life. But like, yes, I agree with you.
That's gold. Like, yeah, like, I lost it, what I was thinking, but it
I'm
will come
like,
back to me. It will come back to me. But yeah, oh, I was going to say something. I just forgot.
is that because I said roller coaster life? It is.
No, no, no,
I
no.
really
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's no destination, like you said. It's a journey. Life is a journey. Being a dance artist is also a journey. You don't stop after being a professional dancer, after achieving that degree of university, or after achieving that job. It goes on, and you learn new things, and life will throw new things at you. Dance industry will throw new things at you. You will throw new things at dance industry. Like, you are doing it in Japan. You are changing the whole industry there. So that's amazing. Like, I'm so inspired by you today. How can people find you if they want to contact you? Is it on Instagram or on your Gmail? Would you like to say
yeah,
anything about that?
email me and call me if you want to.
Oh, are you sure you are going to? But I'm sure the platform is great. One thing I wanted to say, which you missed out, which is a huge thing. Congratulations on your new name. Tell
Yeah,
us about it.
the name that I was given by my master Kankatsura is, so I am now Benika Mochizuki. So Benika is a red, deeply red colored flower, and Benika, that's my like name, and surname is Mochizuki. Mochizuki means like a full moon. So
Wow.
this is like a stage name that I'll be holding for the rest of my life. Japanese performers often, receive those names when we do a lot of professional work, or when we go to those countries to perform, like anywhere. Like, you have this name. Yeah, like I have this name, and I'm quite not really owning the name because I'm still Nozomi Kishimoto. But my master said, Kishimoto is not the great sound, like for you to be working as a professional dancer here in Japan. You need to have those a bit like bigger sound, like more like, bigger. I should say bigger sound, like Mochizuki. It's like pam 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 pam, like four
Okay.
sound. So
Yeah.
so he suggested that I should be naming myself as Mochizuki Benika. So
That's
you can
beautiful.
just call me Nono, or not.
No, no. I love that. Yeah. I love
That,
that the meaning of the name is like the deep colored moon, full moon. That has so much power in it, like so much intense. Even though I'm like translating and speaking in English, I don't know, maybe to Japanese people it would be more intense because it's in their own native language, right?
yeah, but there are not so many people who are named Benika. That's why I have this name. Like, I'm like Benika. I'm the first Benika. Yeah,
Wow, that's unique for sure. Like, yeah, like
stage name to have. Benika is like good stage name to have.
that's amazing. Is there anything today you would like to share with the audience? Would you like to um, say anything to the young East Asian dance artists who wants to try for this dance industry, what would you like to say to them?
I would say like not to just like Eastern Asian artists, but
Mm.
to the Eastern Asian artists, especially Japanese dancers, obviously like, you know, you guys have more options than you think there is, definitely. The reasons why I'm bringing these improvisation bits and the creative bits is because to make them realize that there's more options. There are more options in the world, in the industry. So you don't need to give up on dancing because you couldn't be a ballet dancer. Like my life, you know. I saw a lot of friends in the past quitting dance, giving up on becoming dancers because they couldn't become or get into dance companies, ballet companies in Osaka, Kyoto, Tokyo, Nagoya, those things. But there's more to life than just trying to become something that you couldn't be or you can't be. There's more. Yeah, there's more that you can do if you open your eyes and then like really believe in your destiny. Like I did that. You know, I have connections now with Colombia and Mexico and America as well. I'm working for a guy called Jason Howard from Chicago. So like more options in the world than just Japan. And you know, if you really love what you do, then find your ways to keep going. My teacher told me that the way I danced was disgusting, ungraceful. Don't believe them just because they're older than you. You need to believe that you like what you do, you love what you do. And that's the truest feeling that you can possibly feel in yourself. And the bravest thing to me is to be able to be vulnerable. That's what I feel. And being vulnerable is like, you know, it's a scary feeling, but when you are an artist, you know, I think that's something that you face with, you know, every day. Being vulnerable, being able to be vulnerable and
Just from a
trust.
very important thing, which is like not to trust, not to, you know, believe just because someone is older than you, or just because, you know, they are in some high level. It's really important to believe in yourself. Being aware is important, being informed is important, but not because if someone is just saying things to you. But do your own research, I think. Watch these interviews like Nozomi you watched today, and being informed and like following those inner callings, but being aware of everything. I think that's so important. Yeah.
Also like, you know, being able to put yourself into someone's shoe as well. Like, yeah, it's something you've got to think of. Like, yeah, I don't know why I said that, but maybe
No. It makes sense. I think for me, it makes sense as in like, even if there are some people who would say those things to you, maybe like look from their perspective as well and kind of forgive them and not take it to the heart and be like, okay, I see what you mean, but I'm gonna still do what I'm gonna do. I respect your concern, but and not having any hard feelings towards them. I think that's my take on that. What you said is
I
to like
think
forgetting those who said
yeah.
those things, but just following your dreams.
I think it's really tough when you're a teenager, though, like when you're being taught by those teachers that you look up to, you know, what they say mean the world to them. Even the negative bits that they say to those kids, that can change their life as a dancer or as a person. That could really potentially kill them, you know. So being a dancer is, you know, always requires you to become a teacher at the same time, because, you know, being a professional, you've got to teach at some point to make yourself living at the same time. But like, just I don't want to be just a dancer. Like, I want to be a person. So when I become a teacher, when I am teaching right now, like I know what to say to them, and I know what not to say to them, because this will kill them or this will make them arrive. Like, it's such like
Yeah, it's a
things.
tricky. Yeah, it's like being a dance artist is like being learning things and unlearning things, and then learning things and then unlearning things. And then if you when you become dance teacher, you have that responsibility of these students, and they, like you said, they are looking up to you, and being honest to them as well. Some things you don't know, some things you know, so being honest with them as well, so that they see you as human as well, and not just like, you know, that hierarchy thing of the teacher and student relationship, but being honest with the students as well. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
very important thing as well that you touched.
Yeah. Like obviously, like some people can do study abroad. Some people can get all those like fundings. Some people can get all those scholarships in those schools, but those are the only few people that could make it to the world or like do the course or project that, you know, because they get the funding or anything. But how about those rest of the people that don't have the financial background or support that they want to get from the parents? I think it's because, you know, because we have this technology that we have now. I'm doing a lot of YouTube projects, like making a piece, making a lot of like performance piece at home while we are quarantined.
Yeah.
Bring those films to the festivals, like international festivals of France. You can do all those things, you know. And then I haven't even been to Colombia, but I gave the lectures for 2 hours, and then I am now offered a full-time teaching job there in a university in Colombia. So you don't have to like, you see what I mean? Like you don't have to be the one to get all the fundings, all the opportunities to go abroad and do all your own things. You have to just have the consistency and keep goingness, I would just say, to do what you love doing, what you're meant to do, what you're destined to do. Even at home, even if you are quarantined at home, if you have the energy to do that, do it. Some people are looking at you, some others are not looking at you, but trust those people who look at you and who say, I think I like what you're doing. Those are the people that you should be listening to if you really wanna. Yeah, I have my own doubts, a lot of worries, because I'm going through all those unknown paths. Am I going to Colombia? Am I going to stay here in Japan? Am I going to Canada? Again, I don't know. But, you know, I think, yeah, just you don't have to have everything to be everything or to be a professional dancer. Like you have all those tools like Zoom, Skype, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So you can make chance on those platforms now.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad that you touched on the practical aspect of it. That, you know, even when we are quarantined, we all are kind of facing kind of similar situations, but we still, hopefully, we all have technology. Like even if we have like a really bad quality phone, but we can still make content, and you know, being consistent with those content and reaching out to people. And also, like you said something beautiful about unknowingness. Like we don't know what's going to happen next, like in the world, in our life, in the next second. Like we don't know that. But in the beginning of the interview, you said about um, being present, something about being present, that you know, like you don't know the next moment what it's going to be. So being authentic and being present in this moment and doing what you want to do is so beautiful. So thank you for that. Like you shared so many practical.
I didn't talk a long time. I don't know.
How long is it?
I don't really know. It doesn't say on this
It's
lovely chat.
But like I'm glad that we talked for this long, and it was genuinely so nice to talk to you, and genuinely so amazing to experience you in the person as another student in the university, as a friend. I'm glad that I can count on you now as well, and I'm glad that this interview has just deepened our friendship as well, and I'm so happy to have you in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, and guys and audience as well, like, hey, sorry, like it's Oaks now, Oaks, okay, but big shout out to Carol who just made this platform to tell all those dancer stories, and big shout out to her as well, like doing all those producing stuff, dancing stuff, master's course, you know, she's driven, yeah, watch out.
I'm inspired. You have inspired me as well in this journey. So I'm so
Very-
happy. Is there anything else you would like to share today that I've missed and you really want to share to the world?
Mm, anything else you want to say as well?
I I think I've said everything.
Oh, I think it's yeah, really, it was really fun talking to you, and we had never really had this kind of like a deep conversation about dance
Mm,
specifically. We're
yeah,
talking about things about life, like
yeah,
because like I, when I struggled with some things that I was
yeah.
experiencing, you were like, yeah, yeah, you were listening, and you were so listener. So,
Mm,
but it was just an incredible conversation to have with you and
mm.
really get to know you as a dancer and as a person, as an artist. Hmm,
Yeah, I'm glad that you agreed. Like I feel like you have such a wealth of knowledge, and you are like a treasure box with so much experience, knowledge, everything. And I'm so proud of you and so happy to see you like thriving. And
thank you.
I feel like everyone else who's going to watch this is going to get so much from this. Hit up Nozomi, say to her how amazing she is, how beautiful she is in her art, in her so talented. Like,
Oh, means so much that you say that because you are too. Like coming from you, yes, thank you. Oh, thank you very
uh,
much, Carol.
okay.
Love you, a lot, Carol,
Love
and mm, I appreciate our connection that you. I, I just made a word, keep goingness.
Keep
I
goingness. I love that word. Oh, sorry, my leg
love
is
that
not keep going. Yeah, 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 go on.
yeah, keep goingness that you have.
Yeah,
And,
it's
I think you say that you used to say to me, oh, you're a bit quiet, blah, blah, blah. But
mm,
definitely you have this keep goingness and then voice and all those like, oh my God, I'm gonna fight. Like, not the aggressive fight, but like something good.
yeah.
But you
Cheers.
go like, yeah,
Yeah. Cheers to keep goingness.
cheers. And I've got like
Two
oolong tea.
cups. Ding.
I see.
Oh, what's I love me? Oh, it's
I
what's am I?
like I used to study like alphabet in Japan in Japanese with a
Huh?
teacher called Mayumi. Hey Mayumi.
Oh,
So
honey.
she used to come to my house to like teach me A, B, C,
Oh,
when I was like 17 years old or like 15 years old.
yeah.
Like she gave me this when she went to Italy. So
Oh,
like, oh, I remember all those days when I was like,
that's
why
amazing.
do you have to say I am Nozomi? Why can't I say I was Nozomi? Why is there like like thing going on here? What's the difference between I have been Nozomi or I am Nozomi? It's crazy to make all those difference. And then
Yeah.
sorry, so that's why Japanese people like get really overwhelmed with me. Like, oh my God, you so talk. You're like a foreign person. Like they always tell me that.
That
You're
you're like
like
a foreign person.
yeah, foreign person. They say foreigner. I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, I'm embracing those bits now.
yeah, but you have been in the UK for like 9 years. You have your own
Yes, yeah.
personality and everything. You are a different person now, so it makes sense.
I
But I'm
get
glad.
like
Mm.
embarrassed sometimes, like being here in Japan, like having all those like individualities. Like I see a lot of Japanese women getting married, or for example, getting like yeah, those like fitting into life, if you know what I mean, like fitting into
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things. I never fit into those things. Like I want to go to Colombia. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to America.
yeah.
I
There's
didn't.
no, yeah. In this life, there's no rules, only made up rules. So do whatever you want to do, girl.
Really
Yeah,
love it.
love it. Yes. All right. Thank you for your time and energy. And it was so meaningful. It was so helpful. like I said multiple times in this interview, that this was so inspiring and motivating and so genuine. And thank you for being vulnerable as well and sharing your beliefs and your lifestyle and everything. I'm I'm genuinely looking forward to share this interview with everyone, and it's so precious to me.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Yeah, gives me some energy. Love and it is, it means a lot. Yeah, thank you, Carol. You mean a lot to me, Carol. Thank you.